Man, that was an awesome game of basketball. The Pacers are up 2-1. They guarded SGA what feels like about as well as you can. I mean, the guy shot below 50% from the field. He only had 6 free throws, and he had more turnovers than assists. There was some stuff with Miles Turner on screen actions. We'll talk about that. J-Dub was putting Nesmith in hell a bit, but besides that and like one Thomas Bryant switch on SGA that did not go the Pacers' way, their defense tonight, man, I don't know if you could ask for a whole lot more. Haliburton and Siakam both had huge bounce-back games. Mathurin, I mean, the way that they simplified the game for Mathurin in this one to where he could just basically operate in a straight line in the middle of the floor versus a big dropping back on screens, like, that's the perfect spot for Mathurin. TJ McConnell's coming out of nowhere to get turnovers off of inbounds. Where do we start? I think we got to start with Haliburton because he was the biggest thing after the last game, right? So it did feel like there were more DHOs rather than just simple screens all the time, or even if it was like a DHO where he's like kind of running into it from Turner, and then Turner might re-screen as Hallie then crosses over again to get like, case in, or they got SGA on a switch a couple times before these, just something to make his defender move. Obviously Lou Dort in these as well. He got free for some floaters off of these. He also just had more confident moments of just, I'm just going to take a three if the opportunity's here. Like the second the screen comes from whoever it was, I don't remember. As you can see, Dort is like trying to prepare for the screen. Hallie just immediately goes up with it. Pull up threes off of iHeart or off of Chet dropping back. And then eventually, among all of his great passes, a really, really great skip pass to Nesmith where, hey man, this is one thing when you play the Pacers, you're going to get tired as the game goes on. Like SGA, late in that game, like a couple minutes left, went on a stoppage. His hands are on his knees. He's bending down. Like SGA usually does not look that tired. And I think that leads to the closeout that he had on Nesmith being, I'll just say, okay, not great. Potentially also led to that play where he did not get back in the play when Hallie rebounded his own miss. That's a kick out to Nembhard. They get fouled, and then Nembhard makes a shot when the play comes back. The basket that might have sealed the game was Siakam getting a leak out where SGA was the one defender back, but I mean, hell, on the OB putback, like no one's boxing him out. You're just having to deal with this team for, the 48 minutes. To get to Siakam, very early on, they established if he's got Kaysen or SGA on him, we are going to look for him immediately because that was a missed opportunity in the previous game, right? I did also think they were able to get Siakam some more moments of being the ball handler in screens where like Hallie or Nesmith were going to screen for him. I think one of those led to his almost dunk on J-Dub. That was crazy. And yeah, I mean, the questions that I had coming into this series for the Pacers were, is there one thing they can really go at versus this OKC defense? And in this game, it was for a bit. I mean, nothing is going to be automatic against these guys, but, someone screened for Siakam besides like Turner, and also you got a small on you, we're going to find you. And then I've already talked about Mathurin again. Simplifying the game as much as possible for him to where it's just operate in a straight line, get into your pull-up, get downhill, whatever. It's still wild, the shot making and everything. But this is the allure of Ben Mathurin. This is the conversation Pacer fans have been having for years with this dude. And going into the series, I remember I was like, I'm not super confident with him being a decision maker versus this OKC team. Rick Carlisle's going to find a way because Rick Carlisle knows more about basketball than I could ever imagine knowing. And then we get to the other side. So, look, SGA, he shot 9 for 20. He had more turnovers than assists, 6 free throws, I already said all this. The way that Nembhard or Shepard, what feels like a lot of the time, are putting their chest into SGA on these drives, but keeping their hands up. And sure, they're still fouling him sometimes. Again, he had 6 free throws, okay. But that's about the most you can ask for. They are sprinkling in these doubles. I'm remembering one when he was in the post, not the one where he got Isaiah Joe a 3, a different one where he was overwhelmed by the play. I think it became a shot clock violation or they got a bad shot or whatever, right? Nothing's going to be perfect against SGA. But I really think they did a hell of a job in this one. And as I say that, he still made some tough shots over Shepard, Nembhard, whatever. Now, I did also think that the pick and roll defense against SGA was, at times, we'll say frustrating, but they did get a couple of successful plays of it late. So the Thunder, they're running some of these like very, very high screens for SGA, like around the half-court line, basically from like iHeart or Chet. I'm getting my names mixed up, I'm sorry. And some of these Turner's like high up on the screen. When the screen is nearly at half court, I'm like, what are you doing? You do not need to be up that high when the screen is that high. You know what I mean? And so eventually as the game went on, it did feel like they still kind of wanted Turner high up on SGA screens or at J-Dub screens. And there were still like some successful moments for OKC, like when J-Dub had that great bullet pass to Chet on the backdoor cut for the dunk. That was off of Turner being high up, and Turner was also on the wrong side of the screen. But there were a couple of plays where Turner was able to get up high, get the ball out of SGA or J-Dub's hands, and then he was able to get back to, let's say, iHeart, who then was not able to get a layup. He passes off. Chet gets a turnover, stuff like that. And then, of course, later on, you had, Nembhard, Halley, double SGA for a turnover, where he travels. You had the Turner block on Chet, and then Chet tries to take him off the dribble, and then it just becomes like a bunch of bodies all over him. Where before that, it's like Nembhard pressuring SGA, like you'd expect, Nesmith pressuring J-Dub. I mean, Nesmith, he had some moments guarding J-Dub in this one, where J-Dub is definitely risking an offensive foul with how physically he's going at Nesmith, and it was surprising that none of them were called offensive fouls on J-Dub. At the same time, this is what J-Dub's been doing. Like, he just goes right at guys. And also, that crossover into the 3 on Nesmith then the third was nasty, but basically the Pacers played a great defensive game. Also, you got Siakam as a help defender blocking, like, Caruso or whatever. Also, Obi blocking J-Dub late there, where J-Dub was just trying to go at him on a switch, and Obi just pulled off, like, a rim protector impression, basically. Yeah, it was good stuff. And also, that one time where Halley got the breakaway dunk after the steal, that was another one of those plays where it was Turner high up on the screen, where, again, like, they had enough of those plays go well, even if for the game overall it felt like the Thunder probably scored on more of those plays than they didn't. But basically, hey man, Pacers are up 2-1. At the least now, we are getting a very intense Game 5 in OKC. Of course, Game 4 is going to be a good time as well. This is good stuff, man.